I don't know what I want to ask, but all of that felt very real for me in terms of jobs, in terms of I know where my point of attraction is. Has been in terms of not thinking I can make more than a certain amount, that I don't have the skills, and I don't get jobs. I have a job, but like I don't get better jobs. Um, yeah, and then it kind of comes back to what I don't have a real clear picture of what I want, but I know I want to be happy. I don't want to work so long. I want to make more money. I want to have, an environment of fun while I work that feels enjoyable and fun. Um, yeah, and I probably am bouncing back and forth with my thoughts.
This is all really good. So, this is a lot of good work. So we're just going to dive into some coaching and start working through some of this stuff. So, you told me that you're in a position, you have a job, but you're not getting better jobs and you don't really have what you want. You want to be happy, you want more money, you want to have fun while you work. Today, what is there a few more things you want to add in there while we're at it?
Um, I mean, I know it sounds awful, but like I don't want to I want work that feels like I'm doing what I'm good at. So it doesn't, I kind of feel like I'm flowing instead of I'm struggling um, to get to work harder. I feel like I've been working harder and it ends up working longer hours and I'm still not liking the work I'm doing. So obviously getting focusing in that area has not been a good, hasn't produced change. So, and I think long hours, when you come up, I work at home. When I come up after like 11-hour days, like it's just really hard to feel like happy, and like, gosh, then I get into that loop of, I know this is not a good point of attraction. Like every day I'm like, I need to up something. So that's kind of like how I don't feel bad about it. I'm happy that I realize it. It wasn't too long ago that I wasn't. But yeah, any thoughts on how I can just up what I need to up while I'm in this like kind of a challenging place?
Yeah, we're going to work on it all right now. Have you been to the Intro to Law of Attraction, the workshop?
I think so. A while back. Is it coming
Okay,
up again? Sounds like I need to go back.
it's okay. No, no. So basically, everybody, what we're going to do is we're just going to work through the process that I teach in the workshop, which is okay. I get it now. I get Law of Attraction. What do I do now? You guys really need to sign up for this workshop. I'm going to bring you through exactly what we have to do. So we're going to start right now. Here's the process, everybody. We have to be aware of what our story is because our story is full of emotions around our story, which are doing the attracting. So if we want to live a life outside of our current story, we need to change our current story. But that's really tricky when you're in the weeds. You're just like, this is what's going on. Really, this is what's going on. So the process that we're going to do is we got to first become aware of it, which is bullet point out the story. And this is the bullet points is literally what would you tell a friend if you're going to meet up for a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, and you're getting them up to speed what's going on in your life, and so you're telling them factually what's been going on, and it's the story you say when you're not trying to be good. It's just like the default story. So and told us this. So let's look at it. It says, "Hey, oh here we go. Don't get that." We'll start from what she actually said. I have a job, but I don't get better ones. Don't really have what I want. I want more money. I want to be happy. I want to have fun while I work. I want a job that feels like I'm doing what I'm good at, not a job where it feels like a struggle. I've been working harder and longer, and it's not getting better. I really want to feel happy, and when I'm done with work, I feel not happy, and I'm aware of my point of attraction and probably too tired to do anything about it, right, Anne?
True.
Is that the main thing? Why don't you do any when you know what's going on, why don't you do something about it?
I think it's
Do you not know are you too tired or you don't know what to do?
there's things I would do if I had time, like things I know I'd like to research or look at, things that interest me, but it's late, I'm tired, I have kids who have things that they need, and then yeah,
So would you say generally I don't have time to do things I like?
yeah, I'd say that's very
Okay, cool. So the reason why this is such a fantastic start is because just being aware that this is what your story is, we can realize why you're stuck. You're stuck because you're living in your current story. And if this is the story, we can't ever live outside of it. Well, we have energy of this story, and the energy of this story is, ah, it's just like, yeah, this is what's going on. It's, I don't know. And so and there's an emotion to that, right? And so that emotion is attracting us more of, I don't know what's going on. So when we realize that, and this usually comes like really fired up with a lot of maybe thoughts about how you got here and things you could have done differently. And if this person did that, then it would be this. And there's probably like 10 people who did something that then contributed to the story, right? Right, Anne?
yeah.
Yeah. And because a lot of times we're like addicted to reality, which is like what's literally going on. And we are like that because that's just like what everybody is like, right? But everybody in the world is not thriving. Everybody in the world is not manifesting what they want. And so when we look at, well, who is manifesting? What are they doing? It's the work we're going to start doing right now. So in the meantime, all we have to do is recognize my entire life right now, I am going to start lessening the idea that it is a result of years worth of facts and events that got me here. And I'm just going, if I'm bought in the law of attraction, and I don't want to do the buying into the law of attraction for you. That's not where I like to work with people who are kind of like on the fence. We talk, they kind of tip over the fence, but I don't try to convince anybody. So let's assume that you conceptually like law of attraction is what's up. I just don't know how to practice it. Then we realize that we stop telling the story of how we got here. We stop thinking about the people involved because we just realize, ooh, as I tell the history, as I tell the story, as I tell the facts, I am just actually putting my flashlight on energy that is going to attract more things very similar, and I don't want that. So I'm just letting go the fact that there's 20 years of buildup which got me right here, and that doesn't matter anymore because all that matters in the law of attraction perspective is that this is my story right now. This has an energy that is going to attract me more of this story. I don't want that. So I need a new story that feels a little bit better that can help me start manifesting different things. Now, here's the movie The Secret would often maybe lead you to think that you would just say, I have the best job. The best job in the world is coming to me. This is going to be amazing. You kind of go to the extreme and you're saying these like fairly outlandish things that frankly just don't feel good because they're not believable. And we got this little gremlin that pops up and been like, what? what's going on with you? Didn't you just see what's going on? And so if we're doing any manifesting work and a little gremlin pops up to tell us we're full of shit, then it's not working. Anything we're doing is working opposite against us. And so saying mantras and coming up with things to say that doesn't actually change your vibrational basis is doing the opposite. So we're not going to just rewrite a story that's not believable. We're going to rewrite a story that is very believable. That's a tiny shift from this one. 5% maybe, 10%, I don't know, 2%. Just something that when we say the new story, whew, we just like, we get a little relief and we're like, oh God, that felt a little bit better than the old story. When we have an exercise that results in us actually feeling better, we tend to do it more. And the more we tend to do it, the more we'll actually build it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through here point by point, and we are going to create a new, and honestly, everybody, you guys didn't raise your hand. And so we're going to spend the whole meetup on doing this until the end, which is, coming up in maybe about 20-ish minutes. So we're going to spend time and do this whole process. Don't hop off because it's not your issue, because this is the exact process you need to follow no matter what you're doing. Bullet point out your stuff, and then we're going to go through here. We're going to change these bullet points. We're going to copy and paste them into a paragraph. We're going to tweet it. And at the end, we're going to have a juicy little paragraph that is just like, oh, yeah, that's nice to say. And that's the goal. And then the process from here will be reading this juicy little paragraph, getting a little, smirk on our face when we do so, a couple times a day, and that's all the work is, because then we just raise our vibration a little bit, and then we can do a little bit more. And then it's going to just, if we're doing the work and we're staying focused and we're just doing this stuff, which is not going to be rocket science, then it's a little uncomfortable. It's easier when I can do it with, but it's totally possible. Nobody taught me law of attraction except for YouTube videos. So you sitting here, and if you get an opportunity for me to do this with you, it's a lot easier. So don't go home and feel like you can't do it because you didn't do it as easily. Because I've done that like 1,000 of these things, right? So when you go home and it's the mere fact that you're trying to do it and it's awkward and you don't know if it's good, and don't say, oh, I don't know what is good. It's been like, wow, look at me. I'm doing this process. I'm attempting it right now. And give yourself some bonus points. And then come on Meetup and then send me it. What you guys may not know is there's all sorts of people messaging me their stories all day long. And we're just going back and forth. And I like this, right? So that's good. Okay. So it's good. Send me what you're working on. And then I can give you a suggestion and double check to make sure it feels good. So and then we juice out that story for however long it feels good. Sometimes we get up to speed with it in a couple days, and now we need a new story that's a little bit better because vibration already raised. Sometimes it will take a couple weeks, but basically what will always happen is that it will get old. It'll still feel good, but it won't give you that like special little juicy feeling. So we always want to give us a special little feeling. So that's that tweaking, and that's all the work is, you guys. So let's do this. I have a job, but I don't get better ones. So basically, I'm going to suggest some things, and then I'm going to check in with Anne. Does that feel good? Does that sound good? It is. I'm not trying to get it right here. I'm just trying to make progress. So you can tell me 5 times in a row, like, I don't know, like that doesn't feel good. So I have a job, and I hope I can get a better one. Is that believable, Anne?
Yeah.
Or is it like, or is there something?
No, I believe I can. I don't know how, but I believe it's out there. I believe a better job's out there.
I believe a better one is out there. I'm going to capture your stories, right? Because if you're telling me these things, I know you're telling other people these things. I know that this is part of your language. And so I'm going to capture it and put it back down. So let's just try a couple different ones. I have a job, and I am curious what a better one would look like. That's a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, don't really have what I want. You don't really do you and I know you kinda know what you want in terms of being happy, um, and having some more money and probably time, right?
Right.
So, is there anything I don't really have what I want. Is there it could we say something like, um, right now I'm trying to figure out what I want.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm not sure exactly what job would be great, but I believe there's something out there for me. Is that what's your reaction to that?
That makes me feel hopeful, happy.
Okay. Okay, cool. Just lightens you up a bit, right? I'm gonna go out so we can totally backpedal. I think it's possible that my next phase involves more money and time on my hands. What do you think? Is that not believable?
I think honestly, it feels good. I don't know if it's
Okay.
believable or not, but it just feels so good.
Okay.
Um,
Because all we're saying is I think it's possible, right? We're
yeah,
not saying I have more money and time, but we're like, wait, it's possible. You get a little goosebumps. I did.
I totally did.
Mm. I can't imagine a life where where it's easygoing and happiness is easy. Can you imagine that? Or is that a stretch?
No, I don't know
No,
if I
or
just want it so bad. Like I think about this stuff all the time, you
mhm.
know? Like like I
How
said,
about
I'm
this? How about this? I'm not even sure what a happy life looks like, but I'm going to start imagining it.
kind of exciting actually.
I think it's possible to have fun while I work. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Okay. Or could we say, wouldn't it be amazing to have fun at work? Would that be amazing?
Yeah.
Is that better than the first one? Can I delete the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've had jobs where I have had fun before, so yeah.
I've even had this before. All right, let's just go there for a second. Tell me about that. What job did you have before? Like, what was it like? Tell me cool about the job you had that like you had a bunch of fun. Like what comes to mind? What do you want to tell me about that?
I created my own schedule, um, and I had, oh gosh, I just had fun with clients. I just had fun clients to work with. I had a lot of autonomy, so I could kind of do things my own way. So even though I had a boss, it didn't really feel like I had a boss. Um,
Is your
and
boss a support?
yeah, they were on the other side of the country,
Mm,
kind
okay.
of, it was pleasant, but they weren't really involved. If I needed something,
Okay.
they were there, but I
Mhm.
could
And
kind of
what
do
what what did that feel like on a daily basis when you got to work? What did it feel like?
I was excited to see who I was gonna be talking to that day, like client wise. Um, I think making a difference, like the job, my profession is like helping people, and live a better life. And so that was fun to watch them do that. Um, um, just a lot of variety in
That
what
what
I
did that
did.
feel like? Help people. So you helped people, but what did it feel like? Why was that nice for you? Like, don't assume that I am just on the same page with
Oh,
you because you help people. Like, what was
right.
that? Like, what is it like to help people?
Um, I mean, I think it was you just had like really intense interactions with people. Like you would go deep, and then sometimes it was fun or whatever, but you really got to know people as, their true selves,
Why did you like that? How did it make you feel? Did it make you feel proud of what you were doing? Did it make you
Yeah,
feel important? Were you
I think,
proud about your work?
yeah, I was definitely proud to be doing what I was doing. Um, and then, seeing people happy was fun. Or if they were like, not, I want to say struggling, but if they're working through something, or, just the courage that they had to tackle something, that was exciting to me to watch somebody have
Awesome.
that.
Awesome. So I love, first of all, the feeling of being proud is one of my favorite things to manifest because it's like, I don't know, like beyond just being joyful, being proud for me is just like, wow, like being proud of like this is my house and this is my deck and these are my flowers. Like being proud this is my family and my house and what the work I get to do. Like that brings me into a really immediate place. So I love that I love that word works for you. And and you could see that you had to go searching in your brain, right? You can just see how far away your default is from these emotions and memories, and you can just see like the neurotransmitters are going through the brain and be like, wait, what, do you take a left or right?
Big
Right.
gaps.
Right.
Jump. I never thought about feeling proud of my work. Like it makes sense, but yeah, I was
This is
really.
all about we're going to choose what emotions that you want to feel and we're going to juice them. And don't feel bad that you couldn't do this on your own. That you're here now and this is doing it on your own. In fact, you went and looked for the meetup group, you signed up for the meetup group, you came tonight, you doing the work. So be proud of it. I don't want any of you out there being like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. You are doing this. Just so wow, I guess I'm starting to learn this. Okay. Okay, great. Just say that. Don't think anything further. Okay. Well, okay, starting to get this. Everybody, I swear to God, you guys write it down right now. Write it down. I'm starting to get this. I know you can't be on this phone call without starting to get this a tiny bit. So I swear to God, you guys better get your pens out, get your phones out, your notepad app out, and write down. I could be like, you need to write this 100 times. That's kind of the secret style. But I know at this point, everybody, I know for a fact that all of you can say with 100% confidence, I'm starting to get this a little bit. And that's why I'm going to tell you to write it down and write it down as many times and practice this one little thing 100 times a day or 2 times a day, whatever you can manage. I'm starting to get this. All right, cool. I want a job that feels like I'm doing what I'm good at. I know I'm good at some things. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to feel ease and flow. Is that true?
100%.
Amazing. I'm now realizing that harder and longer isn't the answer. Is that true?
True.
Are you starting to get that?
Yeah. I think the part that kind of is a rub is that literally the volume of work, like I can't walk away and leave work undone, because it just is going to be, it doesn't go away,
You know
you know?
what? The good news is you don't have to because I don't want your conditions changing so you can start feeling this. I
Okay.
want I want you to be in the midst of your stressful right now practicing this because that's how you know it's real. If you feel like you can only do this if you didn't have so many clients, now it's conditional. And we want to get rid of the conditionality. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. So basically, You don't have to figure out the details of how your next phase is going to. The universe is going to figure out the details. You are going to become a vibrational match and not worry about the details. Because if you start worrying about the details, now you're doing there's one path from A to B and it's hard. Way easier to not worry about the details. Way easier to do this practice, work on the energy, and then sit back just like Candace and be like, hey, who wants to be friends? Hey, I know my energy's changing. What's changing out there in the world? And then sit back and look around and start looking for those examples and don't do any action. Don't do anything unless you're inspired to. Do your job, work your hard hours right now and do it knowing that you're going to you're not you don't want changing your energy to be conditional. You want it to be in the thick of it because if you can control your energy in the thick of it, you're doing the hardest part. You're going to get out of the rut and you'll never have to do that work again. Maybe you will, but it'll go much quicker. Once you learn the first time, it's a long cycle and you get better and better at it. And then now you can deal with things much quicker. You recognize vibrational discord, you do the processes, you fix up, and you move on. For me, the first one was probably like different phases, but my first phase of catching myself and kind of working on literally rewriting stories was say a couple months. The full cycle of seeing like bigger manifestations was, I don't know, a year or two. So all you have to do is promise me, write down on your paper, no details. All we're doing is working on the energy, and there's no chance in the entire world that if you're doing this process and working on your energy, your path to ease, happiness will I forget how I started the sentence, but it will be lit up and you won't have to worry about details because you're going to see something and you're going to have a knowing and a clarity that that's exactly where you should be. And what happens is tomorrow morning you wake up feeling really good and you get a new idea, but then you don't know if you should do it. So don't even worry about it. Having new ideas, having random people call, all of that is a sign that it's working, but it's not a sign that you just follow that blindly. It's a sign that you say, okay, things are starting to work. And you don't take action unless you have that certainty and that clarity. And I promise you, after some time working on your energy, something will pop up and you will be certain that that's good for you.
This is really encouraging because I feel like since I've been coming to the meetup and reading things and watching YouTube videos, which I know isn't doing the work, but it's still doing something, right? Like,
Yes,
I feel like
definitely.
things are like, I'm like, this should be a bad day. This should be a really bad day. But I feel like, okay, like I at least feel this, I'm not
Yeah,
going,
neutral,
yeah.
great.
So I feel without, this has been really helpful to know that even though I didn't know I was doing it, it was happening, kind of to your point.
Amazing, amazing. So we're gonna keep going. We're not done yet. So I want to feel really happy. I know a happy life is a juicy one. Do you know that? Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's juicy. I'm gonna delete that one because this whole story is gonna get that. This is all ramped up. Is the idea of not having time, is that pretty active in your vibration, or did I kind of force that one on you? Or do you often think about time?
I'm obsessed with time in
Okay.
not a good way.
Okay.
And I'm starting to like notice just the awareness of the story I have around time and money. There's never enough of either.
hmm So I'm gonna put time at the top because I like to put some of the hard ones at the top. So basically, let's find just something to lighten up the idea of time. So I know I've been obsessed with the idea of lack of time, but I'm going to try to lighten up. I'm going to I'm going to start doing energy work, and most likely this concern will also will will morph, or I don't know, will No, not like that. Hold on. I know I've been obsessed with the no, I'll erase all of that. Let's see. I'd love to have more time. Would you like that?
I would.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, oh, look, it was at the time. I don't know how I missed that. I must have scrolled up. That's so funny. Okay, so we had that there anyway. So this is what we're going to do now. Copy, paste. That was oh yeah, I have the job right now. Okay. Oops, I keep forgetting. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting which one I'm on. There we go. I think there it is. Come on. Why, why am I can't double click? Okay, here we go. Oh, I would love to feel even flow. I did that one already. You guys are like, why don't you manifest some technological skills?
You're doing great. It's hard. I do
Nah.
that for a living too. I'm always going from like screen to screen, and I'm always like, where am I?
Oh. I like a fresh page. All right, and I'd love to have more time. I have a job, and I'm curious what a better one would look like. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what I want. I'm not exactly sure what job would be great, but I believe there's something out there for me. I think it's possible that my next phase involves more money and time on my hands. I'm not even sure what a happy life looks like, but I'm going to start imagining it. Wouldn't it be amazing to have fun at work? I've even had this before. It was amazing to create my own schedule. I had fun working with clients. It's freedom. It's exciting. I was proud and see successful is wonderful. I know I'm good at some things. I would love ease and flow. I'm not, and I'm not real. I'm realizing that harder and longer isn't the answer. I know your life is a juicy one. How do we do, Anne?
I think that feels really good.
And that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. So as you see, everybody, that this story up here is reality. But this story is also you guys, right? So the law of attraction, not witchcraft. It's still reality. It's just the discipline and the knowing of which reality to look at. And yes, we can get stuck up in the real one, but with a little bit of work, we can do this one. And now the process from here is setting the intention to catch yourself just catch yourself when you're telling this old one, and then you say you bust it out. You put this you write your new one on a back of an envelope, stick it in your pocket. You put it in the notes pad in your phone, and you set an alarm. Read it 3 times a day, and you don't just read it like blah 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 blah. You read it and you like milk it. You like really just get into the feeling. Not 15 minutes, people. I'm talking like 20 or 30 seconds. I'm talking just bust it out, get in the spot, milk it, and you move on with your life. Because all we're doing is just flexing the muscle of these vibrations and letting everything else do the work. So copy and paste this, and then your job is to like I said, write it, put it in the phone, put it on a piece of paper, set your alarm 3 times a day, read it, and then read it whenever you catch yourself in some glimpse of this old story. If you're going out to lunch with somebody who wants to catch up in your life, I want you to prepare yourself that you're not telling the old story. They do not need to know it. It does not help anybody. This is all we want to do. And then you're just going to feel better. And that's all we're doing with law of attraction. How do I feel better? And then what's going to happen is then you're going to feel better and you're going to practice it. To get there might require reading the story, but after a couple days, after a couple weeks, your new basis, your new default energy will be higher. And from there, we can then tweak the story and make it a little bit better, make it a little juicier. Likely you've manifested a few things. Likely you have had an interesting conversation you wouldn't have had before. Likely you got a phone call. Likely you chatted with somebody in a coffee shop. Likely an old boss calls. Likely you see some advertisement and you're thinking, well, they knew to advertise me, but really this kind of feels good or whatever, right? And then you're just gonna not worry about if something's right or not, but you can just explore everything and start getting in tune with when I'm feeling good and I have an idea, do I listen to that? And if I don't, let me just do it a little bit. And that's how we get started, everybody.